Hello everyone and welcome to Cracklex. Today in this video I'm going to show you quite a few amazing details that you might have missed at normal viewing speed. Without further ado, let's get started. Detail number 1. In Murray's show, the Joker's dressing room number is 404. This is a reference to the 404th issue of the Batman comics, the cover of which depicts the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents. This sequence can also be found in the movie. Detail number 2. In the 1989 classic Batman movie starring Michael Keaton, the violent Joker, the main antagonist, examines a painting he bought for his collection. The cruel Joker has a wealth of taste in everything including art. The artfully rendered image features works by Thomas Gainsborough, a famous 18th century English artist, including the Blue Boy. Today, an exact copy of the same painting can be seen in Arthur's apartment, indicating that he and Joker both love art and are fans of Gainsborough's work. Detail number 3. Arthur likes the smell of a recently smoked cigarette while performing his emotional signature dance, and he carelessly spits the butt out behind the curtain. His hand is at the bottom of the curtain, picking up the butt, which you can see if you look closely at the enlarged image. Detail number 4. The last name Stoner appears in the Blu-ray subtitles for the doctor who spoke to Penny Fleck. It should not be forgotten that Benjamin Stoner, a character in the Batman comics, was also a doctor in Ludillo and was convicted of crimes. Given that Stoner was willing to do anything for money, including fabricating documents, this may indicate that crimes were committed in the course of Penny's case. Detail number 5. Anyone who has watched the movie carefully knows that the takeover of the city in Gotham by the Super Rats was talked about at the very beginning of the movie.
Authorities are saying the city is under siege by scores of rats.
And if you think back to the movie's denouement, you can see these same Super Rats chasing Bruce Wayne. Detail number 6. The time on the clock coincides in a number of scenes in the film. To illustrate, first in the therapist's office, then during Arthur's flashbacks at the Arkham Psychiatric Clinic, and most recently at the Haha Club, where Arthur worked as a clown. The time, however, cannot be exact, as at some points it appears to be the day of Arthur's departure, but the time is 11 p.m. It is difficult to determine at this time whether this is a coincidence. In movies, things rarely happen by chance. Detail number 7. If you look closely, you can see that the Joker uses different hands for different tasks. For example, he uses his left hand for unfavorable tasks. He uses his left hand to commit crimes and his right hand to make humorous remarks. Detail number 8. It's important to note that before Arthur kills Randall, he lights up a cigarette and clenches it in his hand on the wall in the form of a happy face.
Seeing as how you're my boy, and
that makes a lot of sense.
you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Detail number 9. The newspaper in the scene where Arthur departs on his date with Sophie makes it plain that the Chernobyl nuclear power plant tragedy occurred, indicating that the movie is set in 1986. However, at the same time there is a 1981 film Zorro the Gray Blade going on in the theater. So exactly when in 1986 or 1981 do the events in the movie occur? However, it is hard to know for sure whether the signs are true or false because Arthur is an unpredictable figure. Detail number 10. The Joker appears on screen at the moment of Mary Franklin's death and prepares to say,
Good night. And always remember, that's...
but the film ends before he can do so. Later, the Joker appears in the goodnight message, sitting in the back of a police cruiser, but it is not known how he was captured. However, if you watch the slow-motion footage closely, you can see how the Joker was apprehended. Detail number 11. Arthur received the idea to do his hair in the comics way by combing it back as he was taking notes while watching the stand-up comedian perform. Detail number 12. This detail has nothing to do with the slow-motion picture, but I noticed that it has a place, so I am including it. While it is obvious that Arthur's mother is insane, her psychiatric file indicates that she underwent a lobotomy. Either Wayne fabricated the documents to avoid accountability or scandal, or she was having real hallucinations, but I always thought the movie was intentionally unclear in this aspect. Thomas Wayne, in my opinion, was exhibiting guilt in the bathroom. But that doesn't mean Arthur is right and Wayne is wrong. You don't react to such a statement unless you feel threatened. Since Penny could only have accepted the job because she was simple, she could have been mentally ill, and Thomas could either have fallen in love with her or taken advantage of her condition by forging documents to give the impression that the child was his. Because Penny was convinced that Thomas Wayne would one day save her, I believe her condition worsened and she began dating abusive, rude men and stopped caring about her son. Wayne, on the other hand, came up with the version that Penny was crazy and a stalker. In other words, none of this matters because in the end Arthur is the innocent child who suffered the most. Ironically, the whole story is completely unconvincing because Penny and Thomas, the only two people who really know the truth, are dead, and nothing they did matters because Arthur is still suffering, and it is this humor that Joker finds amusing. Detail number 13. Instead of protect and serve, the license plates of police cars in the city are printed with industry above all, giving the impression that corruption is rampant in Gotham. Detail number 14. Thomas Wayne and psychiatric records indicate that Penny Fleck adopted Arthur. It should be noted that the adoption certificate is in better condition than the other documents, which could mean that a fictitious certificate was added to Penny's file. Viewers may wonder if Arthur was actually adopted or if he is Thomas Wayne's first son. Since it contradicts other documents, it would be interesting to hear your opinion on this. Detail number 15. Arthur is packing up while listening to the Jackson K. Frank's "My Name is Carnival" after being fired. Like the film's protagonist, Frank was an unsuccessful folk musician who was haunted by difficulties. Unfortunately, these hardships eventually contributed to his deteriorating mental state. Detail number 16. There was a scene in the movie where Arthur accidentally dropped his gun at the children's hospital while dancing. After that moment, he checks every time to see if the gun fell out somewhere while he was running. Detail number 17. When Arthur finds a picture of a young Penny Fleck, he notices that Thomas Wayne's initials are written on the back. In fact, this proves that Arthur is Thomas Wayne's child. Detail number 18. When Babin's parents were murdered in a shady alleyway, you might wonder, what were they doing there? You can see Thomas Wayne's limousine burning during the riots. The only burning car out of all the cars was his limo, indicating that he was the target.
Hey, Wayne! You get what you fucking deserve. No, pal!
Detail number 19. One small but fascinating reference can be found among the many details in the movie. It is the use of a font from the Batman animated series and the Mura TV series. For viewers who are familiar with the animated series, this subtle but noticeable detail gives the scene a cool, enjoyable vibe. Detail number 20. Every time Arthur runs, his feet bounce so high it looks like he's dancing. However, upon figuring it out, I discovered that Arthur was actually faking his dexterity because of his obsession with wearing brightly clowned shoes. Detail number 21. At the beginning of the movie, it says that Gotham is being attacked by a group of rats, and that the super rats are trying to take control of the city. You can clearly see the two super rats in the background if you watch the last scene in slow motion.
What kind of clown carries a fucking gun?
Detail number 22. When Arthur was at practice, there was a cup on the table next to Arthur's that said, "Mary Franklin." Detail number 23. Deborah Kane, the therapist whom Arthur Fleck visits frequently, appears in the film. This nickname refers to a DC Comics character who supports children's rights and appears in the Batman Ultimate Evil series. It may be an allusion to Batman's co-creator Bob Kane. Detail number 24. A nod to the original colors used in the Joker comic book can be seen in the unexpected combination of the jacket and purple pants in the suit. This detail contributes to the aura of mystery and the impression viewers will always have of this character. Thanks again for joining me today as we discussed my experience watching Joker in 0.25x speed. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content coming your way soon. Until next time, bye everyone.